So real quick, before we dive into this, I do want to extend a thank you to Etkin Design for giving me this. As far as I know, I was one of the first people here in the US to have one of these drippers, and that's an honor. That's really nice. And also, one thing that's really cool is this was actually hand delivered to me here in Arizona by Michael, who's one of the co-founders of Etkin. He was in town from Istanbul and brought one of these over for me, and it was a really cool experience to get to meet him, talk coffee, talk about the brewers, talk about his company, and share a delicious cup of coffee at one of my favorite shops here in Arizona. It's an honor, so thank you very much, Etkin, and thank you, Michael, for, making that happen. So one thing that Michael expressed to me about, Etkin as a company and about the production of their drippers is they are really proud to be sourcing and using local Turkish porcelain. And so I think that's really cool, utilizing a local resource like that, employing local people to manufacture these, I think is really fantastic. And that's a really cool thing about their company that I really love. The 2-cup dripper is made from the exact same Turkish porcelain that the 8-cup dripper is made from, which is really nice because it's really beautifully done. It's just a really nice piece. So it not only does it look good, it works really well. The porcelain is super smooth and nice. The finish on it is nice and even. I mean, everything about it is just really well crafted and designed. So just like its larger sibling, it's got these nice deep ridges down here in the bottom to help support the bottom of the filter. And that's really nice because when you're using a flat bottom filter and you have ridges like this to help elevate the bottom of the filter paper, you effectively sort of increase the surface area of the bottom of the filter because you don't have a ton of it contacting the actual bottom flat floor of the brewer, and that helps increase flow and get you a much more even extraction. Speaking of filters, this uses the standard Kalita 185 and 155 filters, which is really nice. You don't have to buy any sort of special, proprietary filters or anything for this. It's fantastic. Most of us already have a lot of those filters around, so this just uses those same filters, and that makes life a lot easier. The 155s fit in here kind of below the ridge of the brewer, and the 185s stick up a little bit outside. I've just been using the 185s because that's what I have the most of. I don't really use the 155s, and I've had no issue at all using those 185 filters in this, and they work great. One of the things that I found to be difficult with the 8-cup brewer is it doesn't really fit very well on a standard size carafe. The ridges right here of the center of the brewer are literally balancing right on the edge of something like this fellow carafe or other carafes that are similar in size. So in order to, have this nicely secured onto a carafe that feels a lot more stable, you'd either have to buy the Etkin design carafe, or you'd have to find something that's larger in diameter that, fits around the outside of this, but also maybe a little bit closer to the outside wall of the brewer, just to have some nice stability. So the Etkin design carafe is really nice because it's shorter and it's wider in diameter, so it kind of keeps this all a little bit lower center of gravity, and it's just got much more, nice support for the brewer itself. So with the 8-cup brewer, they fit perfectly fine on a smaller carafe like this. The ridge of the center of the brewer where the outlet is fits perfectly, fine inside of something like this fellow carafe or other carafes that are similar in size. So one thing I hear a lot of people complain about with porcelain brewers is the fact that they don't have as great of thermal, characteristics as like a plastic brewer, like say something like the Oria or a plastic V60, something like that. And while that is true, being dual-walled and being made of really nice porcelain, once you heat this up, it stays pretty consistently warm. Again, being that it's dual-walled, that helps with those thermal, that thermal productivity, thermal efficiency. But I haven't noticed any sort of a problem from brewing with this and it like losing temperature and, drastically altering the flavor of my coffee in any way negatively. Now, I haven't done any actual thermal probe testing or anything like that, but from what I can tell, just from the average consumer user perspective, from a thermal characteristic or thermal standpoint, it's been perfectly fine. So as far as recipes go with brewing with the Etkin 2-cup dripper, I haven't been doing anything out of the ordinary that I wouldn't normally do with any other flat bottom dripper. I'm doing, a Kalita 185 filter, like I said, and I'm doing 15 grams of coffee to 250 grams of water, which is a pretty typical standard, basically 16-to-1 ratio. And I've been getting absolutely fantastic cups of coffee with this. So let's brew up a cup of coffee and talk about how it tastes. So this is 15 grams of a delicious smelling Ethiopia Guji from Necessity Coffee. Well, I think I should enjoy this in my nice little white porcelain origami cup here. It smells really good. That's good. That's really good. That's very tasty. It's really smooth. The finish on it's really good. Really good sweetness, some good acidity, some kind of juiciness. I'm getting the juicy jowls. But yeah, that's really good. I can't complain. I'm gonna have more of this. Well, those are my thoughts on the Etkin 2-cup dripper. It's, I think, an absolutely beautiful dripper, extremely well made, and the company Etkin Design is just really cool. It was a real pleasure to meet Michael in person and sort of be hand-delivered this brewer that I wasn't expecting, so that's really cool. So thank you again to Michael for that. Thank you to Etkin Design. If you want to check out this brewer for yourself or other products that Etkin Design makes, I'll have a link down in the description for you, and of course, there'll be a link down there to my 8-cup dripper review if you want to check that dripper out as well. With that being said, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care.